Let's face it, it requires a lot of effort and sometimes a lot of money to eventually have sex with a woman, all right? And if you keep watching this video, I'm gonna go into the 3 easy steps that you can use to have sex with a woman faster. Because at the end of the day, us guys, we don't wanna spend a bunch of money on someone that is just ultimately not gonna have sex with, and not all of us are into escorts, okay? So that's what I'm gonna cover in this video, is the 3 things that you can do to have sex with a woman faster. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Kane. I'm the Silver Bachelor. This channel is 100% dedicated to dating advice for older guys. And if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button and the notification button because I'm dropping a video every day. All right, the 3 easy steps that you can do to have sex with women faster, all right? And I'm not talking about being a sugar daddy or spending money. No, so I'm gonna get right into this. Number 1 is perceived high value, specifically social status, okay? When you have perceived or actual social status, that is the number 1 thing that will attract a woman. So examples of social status or high social status would be celebrity, obviously. Well, they have money as well, but being a celebrity is obviously social status. You are a bouncer at a nightclub. And you might be thinking, Silver Bachelor, come on, bouncers don't make much money. No, they don't make much money, but guess what? They control who comes in and out of the club. They control if she skips the line, she's got 3 girlfriends with her, whether or not she gets in, doesn't have to wait in line, doesn't have to pay cover charge. Bouncers have high social status, whether you like it or not. DJs have high social status. Do you know why? Everyone's dancing and partying in the place. Doesn't matter how, maybe this place is packed with hundreds of people. Maybe it's 50 people. Doesn't matter. That DJ owns the vibe and the music. So if she goes up to him and requests a song, that could change the whole vibe of the place. And she knows, wow, this guy changed the vibe for me. DJs have high social status, okay? Influencers. If you are an influencer on Instagram, on YouTube, whatever, that also gives high social status. And you might be thinking, well, Silver Bachelor, what's considered an influencer? Well, there's a macro influencer and there's a micro influencer, but doesn't matter. So if you have, I'll just throw a number out there, you have, I would say, at least 10,000 followers on Instagram, 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, she's gonna be impressed. She's gonna be like, okay, this guy is just, he's got a presence out there. Obviously, the higher that number, the higher the perceived value that you have and the higher the social status. I can go on and on about social status. In fact, here's something wild. And you guys might be thinking, are you serious? I'm just gonna throw it out there. Uber drivers. Uber drivers have social status. Fuck, it's crazy. Wait. They have social status when she's in the car. When she's in the car, you have social status as an Uber driver because you are in control of her getting home safely and her having an experience while she's in the car. And you know why I say Uber drivers have social status? Because I'm not an Uber driver, but there are so many Uber drivers that I've asked this question to. I'm like, just out of curiosity, bro, do you have women wanting you to go home with them after a ride, or they want to get your number or whatever? And a lot of Uber drivers have said, oh man, you would not believe how many women want me to go home with them that night when they've been drinking or not drinking and they want to get my number. So for whatever reason, Uber drivers also have some perceived social status. So that's social status and perceived high value is number 1. Number 2 is competition, female competition. When a woman senses that another woman or other women are interested in you, oh, that is gonna rev up her engine, right? She's going to be immediately attracted to you. And I'm gonna share a quick story with you. I broke up with this girl that I was dating and she was bi, okay? And there was a certain night that she went to this lesbian nightclub, and I knew what night that was, and that was Friday nights. Friday nights were like her night to go to this place. So I'm on this date. This was a first date, not with her, but with this other girl. First date. And we're in the area where this lesbian nightclub is. And she's like, hey, do you want to go to this place? I've never been to it. I'm like, shit. Well, it's Saturday night. What are the chances of my ex-girlfriend being there on a Saturday night? So I'm like, okay, fair. I go in. On my first date with this girl, who walks in is my ex-girlfriend and her twin sister. Yes, they were both hot, but she's there, she's trouble, she's with her sister, and she's trouble, that's why I broke up with her. She walks in and she sees me with this girl, right? And I'm like, oh boy, how's this gonna go over? So, so here's the thing, right? She sends me a text. She's like, who is that? When I checked my phone at one point. And I said, well, it's a date. Well, she basically lost her shit. She comes over to me and she's like, oh, hi, and introduces herself, right? Mind you, this was an ex, right? This was like a few weeks after we broke up. She introduces herself. My date is like asking me, who's this? And I'm like, well, that's my ex-girlfriend. And all of a sudden, the two of them are having a conversation, and the one woman, the ex-girlfriend, says to the girl that I'm on a date with, she's like, oh, the girl that I was on a date with asked who she was. And instead of saying, oh, I'm his ex-girlfriend, she says, well, I'm fucking him. And I'm like, what? I'm like stunned, right? And the girl that I'm on a date with says to her, well, I'm fucking him as well. So I'm like, what the hell is going on here? She's an ex, I'm not fucking her. Long story short is the girlfriend, a girl that I was on a date with, decided to leave because of the situation. The ex-girlfriend says, says whatever she said, and basically said, do you want to go home with me tonight? So I went home with her because I thought, well, she is fun, so why not? And I wasn't really into the first date anyways. So there's plenty of examples, but when a woman feels that there's competition and another woman wants you, her interest in you now is just exploding, okay? And the last thing, number 3, is when she finds you handsome. Obviously, if she's attracted to you, then she's going to be more apt to want to sleep with you. So if you combine all those things in the first date, second date, third date, basically, right? And you have a combination of those, whether it all happens on the first date, second, or third, that basically she is now going to desire you and she's most likely going to sleep with you. So you might be thinking, okay, Silver Bachelor, this is all fine and dandy. Well, how do I apply this to my life? Well, if you put yourself in a situation, let's say you need to work on yourself and build up some social status things. You need to work on your Instagram account, maybe start a YouTube channel, whatever. You need to build up some social status in your life. And I'm not talking about being a great golfer. I'm not talking about working in a job as a lawyer. That's not social status. That's professional status. I'm talking social status. I think you understand what I'm getting at here. You build up your social status, number 1. 2, put yourself in situations, you and her, where other women might desire you in some way, right? Maybe it's a work office party and some colleagues are coming up to you, whatever, right? But when that is happening, you're at a nightclub and there's a group of women. That's why having a wing girl is amazing when you go out. So I'll actually throw that tip in there. If you have a female friend and it's a wing girl and you see someone that you're interested in and now you're having a conversation, well, the girl that you're interested in is seeing you're with this wing girl and she's like, well, I hope especially if she's hot. If she's a hot wing girl, you know how easy it is to pick up other women when you have a wing girl there and she's good looking. Oh, because right away they're like, that's competition and I want to win him over his friend, okay? So put yourself in those situations. And so if you take care of yourself, smell good, you look good, you're in a situation where there's some female competition and you have some social status, then you have a very, very good chance of sleeping with that woman very quickly, okay? I want to hear from you in the comments what you think, and we'll see you next time.